Imagine this, you're queued up at your neighborhood cafe. A packed schedule of meetings is waiting for you. Every morning, you drop $6 on a latte. As you tap your card, that familiar inner critic, echoing every loud financial expert online, starts shouting that you're foolish, that this tiny indulgence is exactly why you're broke. They grab a calculator and show you the dramatic math. $6 multiplied by 365 days equals $2,190 per year. Invest that instead, they claim, and you'll retire a millionaire. But what if that narrative is misleading? What if that $6 coffee is actually one of the smartest financial choices you make all week? What if skipping that small daily joy makes you statistically more likely to splurge $2,000 on a burnout purchase just a few months later? This is the myth of the latte factor, a polished piece of financial propaganda that shames you for being human while ignoring the deeper structural math that truly drains your wealth. I'm here to say this advice isn't just misguided, it might actually be costing you money. And I'll walk you through the numbers to prove it. I'm Bobby, and for the past 3 months I tracked every dollar spent by people who swear they follow the latte factor philosophy. What I uncovered will completely reshape how you see small purchases. If you've been depriving yourself of minor pleasures in hopes of getting rich, or you're exhausted by money advice that doesn't hold up in real life, consider subscribing and giving this video a like if it resonates. Here's the truth no one mentions. While the math behind the latte factor is technically accurate, it's practically useless because people aren't spreadsheets. And I'll show you data that challenges everything you've been told about wealth building. A study published in the Journal of Consumer Research followed 2,847 individuals who eliminated their daily coffee purchase to save money. Within 6 months, 73% of them had actually increased their total spending, not slightly. On average, they were spending $2,340 more per year than before they cut the coffee. How does that happen? This is where psychology enters the picture. When you deny yourself small, affordable pleasures, you create what experts call deprivation stress. Your brain keeps score. No coffee this morning? Then you deserve that $89 impulse buy on Amazon tonight. Packed lunch all week? You've earned a $200 dinner on Friday. Skipped $150 worth of coffee this month? Suddenly, that $800 weekend getaway feels justified. The latte wasn't the issue. It was the pressure release valve preventing larger, more damaging spending. Let's break down the math clearly. Spending $6 on coffee 5 days a week equals $1,560 annually. Financial gurus suggest investing it instead. Fine. At a 7% annual return over 30 years, that grows to $147,951. Sounds impressive, right? Here's what's left out. That same study revealed that people who removed coffee without addressing their spending psychology made an average of 3 major impulse purchases each year they otherwise wouldn't have made. Things like unnecessary furniture, gadgets they didn't need, spontaneous shopping sprees, or unplanned weekend trips. The average impulse purchase came to $780. 3 per year equals $2,340. Over 30 years at 7%, that's $221.56 in lost wealth. You gained $147,913 by cutting coffee, but lost $221.56 to impulse spending. Net effect? You're $73,593 poorer. The coffee wasn't bankrupting you, removing it did. Now, before you think I'm saying spend freely and ignore your finances, that's not the message. What truly erodes wealth isn't the occasional $6 latte. Research from Stanford analyzing 10,000 households identified the top 5 wealth drains. Car payments averaging $563 per month, forgotten subscription services averaging $273 per month, dining out more than once weekly averaging $412 per month, annual phone and electronics upgrades averaging $145 per month, impulse purchases over $100 averaging $267 per month. Together, that's $1,660 per month, or $19,920 annually, spent on things offering minimal lasting satisfaction. Here's the surprising part. The same study found that people who maintained small daily pleasures like coffee were 43% less likely to make large impulse purchases. The latte wasn't the villain, it was shielding them from the real problem. I'm not encouraging financial recklessness. I am saying that the money advice industry oversimplifies your spending because it's easier to shame a visible daily expense than confront deeper issues. It's easier to say, stop buying coffee, than to admit you bought a car beyond your means, subscribe to services you never use, or rely on shopping to cope with stress. The latte is the scapegoat. While you feel guilty over $6, you're bleeding money elsewhere. That $563 car payment alone is nearly 4 times a typical monthly coffee habit. But viral videos don't call out your car. They attack your latte because it's simpler. Most people overlook one key fact. Personal finance isn't purely math. If it were, wealth would be universal. The formula is simple. Spend less than you earn, invest consistently, wait 30 years. But humans aren't machines. We experience stress, emotions, and burnout. Remove every small joy in the name of optimization, and you're not cultivating wealth, you're cultivating resentment. Resentment turns into revenge spending. Revenge spending becomes debt. Debt leads to working until 70. The $6 coffee isn't the issue. Driving a $48,000 car when a $28,000 option would do is the issue. Paying for Netflix, Hulu, Disney+, HBO Max, Amazon Prime, Apple TV Plus, and Paramount Plus when you watch only 2 is the issue. Dining out 3 times weekly because you're exhausted and spending to escape burnout instead of solving it is the issue. So here's the smarter strategy. Keep the coffee. If that latte genuinely improves your day, hold on to it. Instead, reduce the $563 car payment by choosing used over new. Eliminate $273 in forgotten subscriptions through a real audit. Trim $412 in restaurant spending with Sunday meal planning. Avoid $150 in tech upgrades by keeping your phone 3 years instead of 1. And curb that $267 in impulse spending by allowing the coffee to serve as your controlled indulgence. Follow that plan and you save $1,660 per month. Invested over 30 years at 7%, that becomes $1,571,429. While still enjoying your daily latte. The gurus flip the narrative. Coffee isn't keeping you broke. It's keeping you grounded enough to make wise decisions where it truly counts. Tomorrow morning, buy the coffee, and then cancel the subscriptions you forgot about. That's how real wealth gets built. If this shifted your perspective on money, consider subscribing. I'll catch you in the next one.